All right, welcome everybody to the Lakers Legacy podcast, where I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want a do for my own, more than you could ever know. Give me a block, a steal, or two, because all I want for Christmas is a do and defense. I'm your host, Jonathan Hernandez, and after a barn burner against the Utah Jazz tonight, in which the Lakers won 143 to 135, ridiculous score, your Los Angeles Lakers are now 19-7. They are currently third in the Western Conference and still managing to win games despite missing key players to their rotation. Tonight, it was obviously Austin Reeves, who will be out for the next week with a calf injury. Actually, no, he should be reevaluated soon. So he might be back next game. Anyways, Austin Reeves was out tonight, as well as DeAndre Ayton. And despite the fact that the Lakers were trailing for 80% of that game and nearly gave up 80 points in the first half, they did manage to pull out the win in Utah. Luka Doncic with a tremendous triple-double, 45-point triple-double. He and LeBron James combined for 24 assists and just 3 turnovers, which is very impressive. And the Lakers were somehow able to overcome their own lackadaisicalness after having 3 games off since that crazy win in Phoenix. So crazy stat of the night, to me at least, is the fact that the Lakers are 12-3 on the road this season. That is impressive, because the Lakers last year were 19-22 on the road. So they're only 7 wins off of last year's entire road total. So credit to the Lakers, in spite of the fact that they played down to their opponent tonight because the Jazz were missing Lauri Markkanen. Credit to the Lakers for being true road warriors through the early part of this year. Only having 3 losses on the road is incredible. And I mean, they're literally playing better on the road than they are at crypto, which is crazy. Luka Doncic, after a pretty inefficient night against the Phoenix Suns, bounced back in a big way. 45-point triple-double, 14 assists. This is his 3rd triple-double of the season, 2nd in the month of December. And all in all that matters, in spite of how D-less the Lakers game was against the Jazz, is the fact that the Lakers got the win. So in today's episode, I'm actually going to talk less about the Jazz game, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm literally going to go through each and every single Lakers player, all 14 guys on the roster, including all 3 two-way guys, and give you guys like my current raw thoughts on each player with a max shot clock of 2 minutes per player. If I can get through all my thoughts on said player in less than 2 minutes, I'll do that. But for the most part, I'll go a max of 2 minutes on every single Lakers player tonight. I may talk about the Jazz game. I may not. But yeah, I'm going to go off the top of the dome tonight. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it should be interesting. Glad that the Lakers won tonight. It was in conjunction with this crazy Rams-Seahawks game. I don't know if you guys also watched the NFL, but while Luka Doncic was tearing up the Jazz on this end, Puka Doncic, Puka Nacua was almost tearing up the Seahawks on the other end, but the Rams lost in a very horrific fashion in overtime. And then Puka Nacua apparently tweeted out something outrageous once again. Anyways, we're not here to talk about the Rams and Puka Nacua. But with that said, yeah, Lakers come away with the win against the Utah Jazz. And in today's episode, I'm going to do 2 minutes on every single Lakers player, whatever pops into my head first. But before we get to that, if I could please ask you guys to like this video, comment down below, and most importantly, hit subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you would be so inclined to do so and want to help me out in any small way financially, please check out the links in the description box below. Also, you can send me a super chat and I can address your question on air. Also, another easier way to support me is by becoming a member to the Lakers Legacy channel. Our little LLP membership group and clan is growing by the day. So thanks to those who have already become members. I just released a new exclusive video on some out of the box, wacky ass trades that would never happen, but will make you think a little bit. So, yeah, members will have the ability to check out those exclusive videos. And the more we can grow this little community, maybe we'll do some like private streams and all that jazz. But yeah, regardless, if you guys could please just subscribe, that would be enough. And yeah, with that said, let's get on with the show. 2 minutes on every single Lakers player. And just so that I don't forget, let's start with Drew Timme. So hold on, let me pull up our roster really quick. All right, so here's our roster. And let me start with Drew Timme. And I'm gonna time myself to make sure that I abide by my own rules. We're gonna do 2 minutes max on every single player. Let's start with the two-way guys. Drew Timme, here we go. I don't know if I'm even prepared for this. What do I have to say about Drew Timme? Ready, set, go. All right, Drew Timme. Why is he still on a two-way? Please, Lakers, give his two-way spot to Kobe Buffkin. I beg of you. There is just no need, no use for a player like Drew Timme on this team. He's a great G League player. He scores in bunches. He's very fun, very good passer, but he's not what this team needs right now. We do not need a slow, defenseless, offensive-minded center who can be a hub for you. That's great. He's not even a good three-point shooter. Meanwhile, Kobe Buffkin, even though I know that if we put Kobe Buffkin on his two-way, we would have three guards on two ways. I don't care. Kobe Buffkin plays defense and can score. Kobe is currently 5th in the G League in scoring, averaging 24.7 points per game on 49% from the field and 43% from three, hitting 3.1 threes a game. And he plays tough defense, tough physical defense on top of that. Please, Lakers, what are we doing? Get Drew Timme off of his current two-way. Give it to Kobe Buffkin before another team scoops him up. I mean, we literally just saw that happen with the Memphis Grizzlies using an injury exception and calling up Kobe on a 10-day contract. Kobe's back in our farmhouse trenches. Let's lock him up on a two-way contract. And by mid-January, when we can sign another, when we have enough money under the first apron to standardize one of our two-way deals, let's convert Chris Magnon or Nick Smith Jr. to a standard contract, and then we'll have another free open two-way spot available. But all I have to say about Drew Timme is Timme is up. Time is up. Why? He's currently not needed on this roster right now. So those are my thoughts on Drew Timme. I don't hate the guy. His skill set is just not necessary or needed. And there it is. 2 minutes. All right. Next player. Let's talk about Chris Magnon. 2 minutes on Chris Magnon. Let's go. All right. Chris Magnon, currently in the G League, he is averaging 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2.6 steals per game. I believe that's tied for first in steals in the G League. 1.4 blocks per game, which is pretty high for a guard in the G League. I mean, Chris Magnon, he's the all-around hustle defense dude that we need on this team right now, especially with Gabe Vincent currently out. Call him up, give him some actual minutes, see what he can do in one shift. Chris Magnon has been really impressive in the G League this season. He has such great, quick anticipation and timing when he jumps these passing lanes. He's a great, great, great defense to offense pick six player. The other night, he dropped 20 points on 8 of 11 shooting and had another 3 steals. He was showing off his athleticism, showing off his hustle. And the Lakers could just use his energy, his physicality, his relentlessness on defense. I mean, we saw them almost give up 80 points to the Utah Jazz tonight. And the Lakers could use Chris Magnon. He's a great connective team defender as well. And I think he would be another one of those banshees that we could slot next to Jared Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia, Jackson Hayes, all of these high motor hustle dudes. Chris Magnon needs some time, JJ Redick. If I had to pick out of the 3 guys that we currently have on two ways, who I would standardize first, it would probably be Chris Magnon. Well, pretty close between him and Nick Smith Jr. But I just think Chris Magnon is such an easy plug and play sort of player. He doesn't even need to hit a shot. You just throw him out there, stick him on the team's best ball handler, and let him run amok. Yeah, Chris Magnon. My thoughts on Chris are this dude needs some time. Give him some time, JJ Redick. It's time to start developing some of our younger athletic guys in the G League. And that's 2 minutes on Chris Magnon. Let's move on to Nick Smith Jr. 2 minutes on Nick Smith Jr. All right, Nick Smith Jr., talk about a change of pace guard. This dude is so dynamic off the dribble. His gear shifting crossovers are nasty. He has real gravity on his drives because he can really put it into overdrive and go from 0 to 200 in a second. With Gabe Vincent out for at least the next week with a lower back injury, I'm excited to see Nick Smith Jr. In the regular rotation for the Lakers. I don't believe he did much of anything tonight for the Lakers. He missed both of his threes, only played 5 minutes, but in his last game with the South Bay Lakers, he dropped 20 points and hit like 4 or 5 threes. I mean, on the season right now, Nick Smith Jr. is averaging 7 points for this team currently on 45% from the field, 45% from 3, knocking down 1.4 threes a game. I mean, the fact that he's actually contributing to our actual team says a lot. And yeah, he is just that. We could actually use a creator like him with Austin out. And again, with Gabe Vincent out as well. And, if I had to choose between Nick Smith Jr. and Kobe Buffkin, like let's say we could only give the 2-way to one player, I would still give it to Nick Smith Jr. One, because he's proven it way more. He's proven it in way more NBA games than Kobe. He's proven it for an entire season. He's proven it this year by actually winning us a game in Portland. He's also way quicker and shiftier than Kobe and has the better handles. And then 2, recently, even though overall I would say Kobe Buffkin is the better guard defender, recently Nick Smith Jr. has actually shown a competitiveness and feistiness defensively that kind of closes the gap in that respect. And I think the Lakers just need his injection of zip and downhill attacking. 2 minutes, Nick Smith Jr. Boom. All right. Now let's move on to, so those are the 2-way guys. Now let's move on to the regular players on standard contracts in the rotation. And let's talk about Bronny James. All right, Bronny. He's a work in progress. He had a really good G League season last year, actually. I mean, he averaged like 20 points, 5 assists. But yeah, he's been struggling both in the G League and in actual NBA games this season. I mean, he's only averaging 2 points, 32% from the field, 28% from 3. I mean, he had that one standout game, or had that one nice 3-game stretch where he was actually playing real rotation minutes, capped off by that really nice game against Portland on the road. That was the same Nick Smith Jr. game as well. But yeah, Bronny just hasn't had the reps again. But even in the G League, the last game against South Bay, he was turning the ball over a lot. And yeah, I don't know. Bronny, WIP for Bronny. I'd like to see him get more minutes in this upcoming stretch as well with Gabe Vincent out, because, if obviously Gabe Vincent's the better player and he helps contribute way more than Bronny, but let's use this time to see what we actually have. Let's see if we can get Bronny up to speed again so we can get that small smidgen of any sort of flashes from him, even defensively, like he had in that 3-game stretch earlier in the season. But yeah, out of all of the 3 guards that we have, or out of the 2-way guys that we have, Nick Smith Jr., Chris Magnon, and even Kobe Buffkin, Bronny James is kind of lagging in that respect. Although I do think he needs more time and reps to really get into a rhythm. So those are my thoughts on Bronny. I'm not going to be too harsh on the kid, but it's Yeah, okay. Time's up on Bronny. So that's what I'll say about Bronny. All right, let's move on to my favorite player in the world, Gabe Vincent. 2 minutes on Gabe Vincent. Here we go. Uh Gabe Vincent is going to be out for the next week, and I hope his lower back feels better, but this is an important stretch for the Lakers because we can finally take Gabe Vincent's. How many minutes is he averaging? Oh my God. Gabe Vincent's averaging 21 minutes per game. Ugh. All right. This is an important stretch for the Lakers without Gabe Vincent because those are 21 minutes or 15 to 21 minutes that can go to literally anyone else. We can funnel those minutes more to Jared Vanderbilt, who we'll get to in a second. We can funnel those minutes to Adu Thiero, who only played like what did he play today? He only played 3 minutes, didn't do much, didn't look too good, but the dude needs time. Um, Gabe Vincent, he has looked pretty terrible the last few games, just objectively speaking. That's not true. Gabe Vincent played well against the Suns. I'm sorry. I'm going to give Gabe Vincent his props for the Suns game. Um, but, with Gabe, it's like one good game, and then we have to endure through 4 wholly unnecessary games where he's taking minutes away from better players, taller players, guys who have higher ceilings. And Gabe Vincent's like, hoping for Gabe Vincent's hot streak from 3 is just not worth it, in my opinion. And it's time to start developing some of our younger guys because Gabe Vincent is likely to go out in a trade because he's an expiring contract. So let's begin to wean ourselves off of Gabe now. I know that's so hard to say or so hard to do because JJ Redick loves the dude, but he's going to be out for the next week. Hopefully he rests his back a little bit longer. But we need to get some looks on some other guys, and thank God Jared Vanderbilt's back in the rotation. My 2 minutes are up on Gabe Vincent. Let's move on to Maxi Kleber. All right, Maxi Kleber, like Gabe Vincent before him, he is going to most likely be dealt at the trade deadline, even though he is Luka Doncic's homie. He played pretty well against the Jazz tonight, actually. Played 19 minutes, solid defense. He had the highest plus minus on the team tonight. 5 points, 1 of 2 field goals, 3 of 4 from the stripe, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. But, Maxi Kleber, just a very fundamentally sound defender, a good positional defender, always in the right spots. He's physical, he's scrappy. I would call him a banshee as well. And he looked pretty good in that lineup with like LeBron James, Jake LaRavia, Jared Vanderbilt. Yeah, I like the versatility that Maxi Kleber brings. I just wish he was, more durable and younger. I mean, I didn't even know that prior to this game, Maxi Kleber was actually injured. So that's something that we continually have to deal with Maxi Kleber. And because of that, I think the first opportunity the Lakers have to package him and Gabe Vincent's expiring for a player that is more reliable and durable, I think they're going to do that. But having said that, Maxi Kleber has been a pleasant surprise this season because I did not think that he would even be able to play real rotation minutes, and that if he did play real rotation minutes, it would be in a sort of Make-A-Wish Foundation, JJ Redick just loves the dude sort of style. But no, I think Maxi Kleber has actually been pretty solid and valuable in the minutes he's played. And funny enough, the last game he played in Utah, he had like the game-winning, go-ahead, close-out dunk bucket as well. So Maxi Kleber has had his flashes this season. Kudos to him for still being able to play, but I just don't see his future with LA too much longer. All right, those are my 2 minutes on Maxi Kleber. Let's move on to Jared Vanderbilt. This is going to be fun. I hope I can do everything in 2 minutes. Jared Vanderbilt, thank God he was reinserted back into the rotation. Another awesome, brilliant, smash you in the face game by Jared Vanderbilt tonight. 25 minutes, 7 rebounds, 7 points, 11 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds after he grabbed like 6 offensive rebounds against the Suns. This dude is just a breath of fresh air and energy. His hustle, he looks so athletic out there, snatching these balls out of the air, ripping it from people, and then taking it down the other way. He was second on the night in plus minus, plus 15, right behind Maxi Kleber. And he was part of those units with LeBron and the Banshees that really got this team, back into the game. And then with Luka Doncic, I believe they even extended the lead as well. So Jared Vanderbilt, man, it was so silly that he had DNP'd in like 9 of the last 11 games before JJ Redick finally decided to reinsert him against the Suns. And if you haven't checked out my breakdown video on Jared Vanderbilt and his necessity to this team, please check it out. But as it so happens, Jared Vanderbilt is not unplayable. To the extent that he was unplayable, it was because his coach just didn't want to play him. And his coach valued spacing over the things that this team actually needs, defense and rebounding. This team almost gave up 80 points in the first half. Can you imagine if Jared Vanderbilt wasn't a part of the rotation? It would be even worse than that, So I'm just glad he's back in the rotation. I hope he stays a fixture in the rotation, at least until we find someone better than him in the trade market. But right now, this team needs Vando, and I'm glad he's back and looking healthy. That is my time on Jared Vanderbilt. Let's move on to Adu Thiero. So I kind of have this in random order, but you guys are going to just have to go with it. 2 minutes on Adu Thiero. So obviously he probably had his worst stint as a Laker tonight, but he's a rookie. Who cares? He missed his layup underneath the basket when LeBron James passed it to him. But I watched the last game Adu played with the South Bay Lakers, and this dude is so dynamic. This dude is so explosive. The way that he teleports on the court, the way that he's able to zip up and down the floor and just sky off the ground, off 1 foot, off 2 feet. I have a new nickname for him. It's Zero Gravity, like zero gravity, because it's just effortless the way that he flies. And we just need to give this guy more time. I don't care if he looks raw. I don't care if he gets blown by because he's out of position. Like, he has the type of athleticism to erase his own mistakes or make up for his own mistakes. And when you get him in a unit with those other high motor, rabid and frenetic defenders like Jared Vanderbilt, Marcus Smart, that's when you can really compound the energy. And Adu is, without a doubt, hands down, the most athletic player on this roster. And he's also one of the more physically built players as well. He's almost built like LeBron James. But yeah, we just need to give Adu Thiero more time. And now is the perfect time to do that with Gabe Vincent out for the next week or so. Again, he didn't play well tonight in his only stint. He only played 3 minutes. He has to get more time than that, especially when we're giving up nearly 80 points in the first half. I'm going to keep bringing that up. We need to start developing Adu because he is so clearly part of the future, and he is going to be Luka's 3-and-D wingman, running the floor, catching lobs, et cetera, et cetera. He is just dynamite at the rim, and he's fun to watch. Catch a South Bay Lakers game when he plays. That's my 2 minutes on Adu Thiero. Let's move on and talk about Jake LaRavia. Here's my 2 minutes on Jake LaRavia. Man, Jake LaRavia. Okay, tonight, Jake had like the Jakeiest line of all. Jake of all trades, master of none. This is the perfect encapsulation of Jake LaRavia's game. 28 minutes, 12 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, finally got his 3-ball to flow, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, somehow didn't get a steal or block, but it doesn't matter because this dude just plays great positional defense, was a plus 14 on the night, third best on the team. Whether it was this game or the Suns game or the games before that, I mean, this dude isn't the fastest. He's not the most explosive, but just positionally and him leveraging his size and physicality, Jake is like all caps solid, especially defensively. And he is he is part of that Banshees group because he's always scrapping. He's always hustling for the 50-50 balls. He's always getting his hands on balls, deflecting balls, or keeping balls alive. I've been saying balls a lot. Pause. But yeah, really impressed with Jake LaRavia. I just wish he would shoot more. And tonight he actually got his threes to fall. 6 shots isn't enough without Austin Reeves and even Gabe Vincent in play. He should shoot more and he should be more confident about shooting and stop passing up shots. That's my main gripe with Jake LaRavia right now. But outside of that, what a great team defender. There was even a play tonight where he was like switched on to Keontae George. Keontae George took him into the lane. Jake LaRavia was there the entire way. Keontae George missed shot. And if you guys remember the game against the Suns, he did a phenomenal job on Devin Booker as well, making life hard on him. And so, yeah, I love Jake LaRavia's floor. I just wish we could see more of his ceiling. And sometimes he caps his own ceiling by being timid and not taking the shots that he should take and having his three ball just being inconsistent. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Jake LaRavia. 2 minutes on Jake LaRavia. All right. So before I move on, I do have to talk about today's sponsor. And let me just make sure that 1 second. All right. Before we move on to the rest of the roster, I do want to talk to you guys today about our sponsor because 'tis the season to play fantasy sports on Underdog. With Underdog Unwrapped, you'll unwrap tons of promos all throughout the holidays. We've got boosts, gimme picks, deal reveals, and even some surprises sprinkled in. Now is the best time to get in on the game. And playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, I'll probably be looking at the Lakers-Clippers game on Saturday. The lines aren't out yet, or the plays aren't out yet, but I would probably look at Rui's three-pointers. If it's at 1.5, I would take the higher. Rui actually hasn't hit 2 threes in the last 2 games, so I think he's a bit due in that respect. And the Clippers will probably sell out on LeBron James and Luka and leave him wide open. And Austin Reeves might even be back for that game. So yeah, take Rui higher than 1.5 threes if that's where his 3-point play is set at. And then on the other side, I would probably take Chris Dunn higher than 1.5 steals if that's where his play is set at. Because yeah, the Lakers had a very rare low turnover game tonight. I don't think that's going to be the case against Chris Dunn and the Clippers. But regardless, what are you waiting for? Get that Black Samurai and Chris Dunn play in while you can before Lakers Clippers on Saturday. Download the app today and use promo code LEGACY to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code LEGACY. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. All right, let's pitch it to a couple more sponsors, and when we return, let's get to the rest of the roster, my 2-minute rundown on every single Lakers player. All right, so we are back. Let's talk about, and I'll get to some of your guys' questions towards the end of the show. Sorry guys, I'm looking for my, I'll get to your guys' questions at the end of the show as much as I can, but after I get through all of my 2-minute spiels on every single player. Okay, next player I want to talk about, 2 minutes on, would be DeAndre Ayton. Let's go, 2 minutes. DeAndre Ayton has been phenomenal. It's unfortunate that he wasn't able to play tonight, but he deserves the rest, I guess. But on the year, he is averaging 15.3 points, 9 rebounds, 0.8 steals, 1 block, shooting 71% from the field. If you watch the game against the Suns, he was taking it personally. He was grabbing boards, tipping balls to himself, and like slamming it down with such ferocity. Like, I love the passion that I saw from DeAndre Ayton against his former team. And he continues to just be everything that the Lakers needed in a starting center on both ends of the floor. And his ability to be that versatile role man who not only catches lobs, and by the way, him and Luka are like the number one pick and roll duo in the NBA in terms of points per possession. Sorry, correction. Him and Austin are actually number one in the NBA in points per possession out of the pick and roll. And then I believe him and Luka are like second or third. Him and Luka are like top 3 in the NBA in lob combos and duos. So even his chemistry with Luka, it took some time to get there, but his chemistry with Luka on these lobs has naturally grown as the season has progressed. But again, I've been so impressed with DeAndre Ayton's play this entire year. I don't know where we would be without him. And kudos to DeAndre for putting his money where his mouth is, and walking the walk or walking the talk, whatever the phrase is, because he has been tremendous. And his efficiency from the floor, the life that he gives the locker room. I don't know if you guys saw his mom made jerk chicken for everybody. This dude was meant to be a Laker, and he seems like he's living his best life as a Laker. And hopefully we can resign him some way. All right, so there's my 2 minutes on DeAndre Ayton. Who do I have next? Oh man, I'm going out of order on my list here. Okay, let's talk about Dalton Connect. So 2 minutes on Dalton Connect. He played, what did Dalton do tonight? He played, oh shoot, I'm losing I don't have my box score up. Sorry guys, 1 second. What did, I closed my own thing. My bad, guys. 1 second. All right, I'm going to go off the cuff. All right, Dalton Connect, what did he do tonight? He didn't do anything tonight, I don't think. He only played 4 minutes, took 1 3, didn't do much of anything. I will say, though, that I did watch his game I watched his first game with the South Bay Lakers, his debut game, and he looked tremendous. He dropped 30 points, like 5 rebounds, like 2 assists, hit 6 threes. He looked confident as heck. I hope the Lakers continue to assign him to the South Bay Lakers just so he can get his confidence up, because, man, when Dalton gets a feel for the ball, when he can get some actual usage and reps, he looks like Dalton from last season during the first half of the year, when you remember in like 16 games where he started, Dalton was averaging 16 points, like in real legitimate games and helping this team win. His defense is just so far below average right now, which is why it's always going to cap his playing time. But man, it sucks that it is the way that it is, because he is that heat-seeking sort of offensive powerhouse off the bench that this team could actually use. This team actually doesn't shoot threes that well, and Dalton could help that tremendously with the way he can get hot so quickly. It's just, with a player like him, his game is so predicated on rhythm. He doesn't have any rhythm right now because he barely gets minutes. And I hope over the next few games or so, with Gabe out, he gets a little bit more time, even just 1 shift a game. So those are my thoughts on Dalton Connect, even though some of my time got cut off because I was looking for the box score. All right. Next player. Jackson Hayes. 2 minutes on Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes, man. How good has this guy been? Jackson 5, Jackson backup 5, season high 16 points in the fill-in start for DeAndre Ayton tonight. 7 of 7 from the field. I think he's like 26 of 26 overall in his Lakers career versus the Jazz, which is insane. He literally hasn't missed a shot against the Jazz in a Lakers uniform. On the year, I mean, it's almost useless to list out his stats, like what, 6 points, 4 rebounds, shooting team high 76% from the field. I mean, the stats with Jackson don't matter because if you're actually watching the games, he just looks so different. You hear Stu Lance say it every single game. Jackson went up with perfect verticality. Look at him protecting the rim, and he's doing exactly that. I don't even think he recorded a blocked shot tonight, but that doesn't even matter because the way that he's just being a deterrent at the rim, the way he's like going straight up and down parallel without, you know, used to be the fact that last season he would actually try and still reach, even though he'd go up with verticality for the first 2 seconds, he would still bring his arms down and get called for the foul. But this year, something clicked with him. He's just a lot more disciplined. His motor runs a lot higher and more consistently, but more than that, his motor is more controlled and channeled in the right directions. And you saw it tonight. He almost had another poster jam jumping off of 1 foot. He is looking to tear the rim down every single time, and he's looking to tear the rim down whether or not there is a defender in his way. It used to be the case that if Jackson Hayes got contact from another player, he would sort of just like recoil and throw up a BS shot. These days, yamming it down on their faces. Kudos to Jackson Hayes. That's my 2 minutes on Jackson Hayes. Let's move on to Rui Hachimura. 2 minutes on Rui. So Rui, I think he had a subpar night. 13 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 3 rebounds. Actually did get a block, which is kind of rare for Rui these days. But Rui kind of subdued and quiet. I still don't like his fit right now with the current iteration of the starting lineup. Him and LeBron and Luka are too much of a slow-footed liability. I saw him chasing Svi Mykhailiuk off screens on the perimeter. Rui should not be chasing anyone off screens, as we all know. He did a really... So here's the thing. Rui, when he's guarding someone man-to-man, he actually does a good job guarding them. He had a really nice stop against Ace Bailey tonight. It's just, you can't have Rui running off screens. He's too big. He's going to get bumped off by another screener. You know, he doesn't have the foot speed to stay on these, you know, slitherier shooting guards and wings who can actually pop off on a dime or, you know, jump on, what am I trying to say? Raise up on a dime and knock down these 3-point shots or get into no man's land and knock down mid-range shots. So hopefully we get into that universe where Rui can be the best version of himself off of the bench, because the bench still could use his scoring, and his mid-range jump shot, especially when he, you know, backs someone down and turns around, is absolute money. Kudos to Rui for hitting that clutch baseline 3-point shot. I mean, tonight, I pretty much write that in pen every time I see Rui wide open on the baseline these days. So kudos to Rui for continuing to stay locked in and being able to hit these clutch 3-pointers, even though he hasn't had a shot for minutes at a time, you know? So the best thing I can say about Rui is he knows his role. I just wish the coach would know his role better as well. There's my 2 minutes on Rui Hachimura. Let's move on to... We are down to the last 4 players. Okay, so 2 minutes on Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart got the start tonight again, and he played very, very well. What did Marcus Smart have tonight? He had 17 points. I believe that's his second highest point total of the season. 6 of 11 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. So Marcus Smart in the 3 games since his return is shooting 14 of 28 from 3, 50%, which is amazing. Now, those are all coming from 2 games, his 8 for 14 3-point game against the Spurs, and then the 5 of 9 3-point game from tonight. In the middle of that is 1 of 5, but it doesn't matter. Because, yeah, I mean, he's slowly rounding into form. I think the more minutes and more reps that he gets, the better he'll be. prior to when he returned, Marcus Smart was only shooting 25% from three on the season. He had only made 16 threes. In the 3 games since he's been back, he's already hit 14 threes. That's incredible. And kind of lends itself to, that's kind of who Marcus Smart has been his entire career. He's like a very streaky 3-point shooter. He can get very hot and also very cold. It's a little Gabe Vincent-esque, but I think Marcus Smart's a even better shooter than Gabe Vincent. Having said that, Marcus Smart, 25% from three before these 3 games. Now he's up to 33% from three, knocking down almost 2 threes a game. So kudos to Marcus Smart for working himself back into shooting rhythm. But most of all, the Lakers have needed his hustle, his grit, his perimeter, point of attack defense. When you couple that with Jared Vanderbilt and Jake LaRavia, those 3 are a 3-man wrecking crew and exactly what this team needs. Clearly, given the fact that we still gave up almost 80 points in the first half, we need more than Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, and Jake LaRavia, but it's a good start. And hopefully once Austin is back, we'll see a shift in the starting lineup with Freudian slip, with Marcus staying in the starting lineup, because that's the Marcus Smart thing to do. All right, so there's Marcus Smart. We are now down to our big 3. So let's talk about Austin Reaves, 2 minutes. I think you've seen in the last few games how integral Austin is to this Lakers team. That's a very obvious thing to say, but the starting lineup is so slow. We need Austin's change of gears, dynamic shift, where he just gets into his herky-jerky ball handling bag, nice into the lane, keeps the defense on their heels. Austin, outside of Nick Smith Jr., who doesn't get any playing time, Austin is the only other guy on this team who can really, yo-yo the ball back and forth and play at 150 miles per hour and catch defenses off guard. Austin is obviously having a career season, and he has been playing a ton of minutes. I understand why the Lakers are being cautious with his injury, but on the year, Austin Reaves is still averaging nearly 28 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, 6.7 assists, still shooting 50% from the field, 37% from three, 2.8 threes a game. Again, this is Austin Reaves' all-star season, and I hope he's back soon. Hope he's back against the Clippers. The Lakers clearly miss him and his dynamic speed and just everything he does for the team, and having an extra ball handler and all that jazz. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about Austin outside of he continues to truck along. I hope that his body he's able to maintain his durability throughout the year, because handling this much usage takes a toll on your body, and JJ has been playing him a lot of minutes. I mean, he's almost averaging 37 minutes a game, and I hope we can sort of keep that in check as the season goes along, so that we don't have him hitting a brick wall right at the most important time, i.e. the playoffs, So keep it up, Austin, is all I have to say. All right, those are my 2 minutes on Austin Reaves. Let's move on to... We're down to 2 players. Let's talk about LeBron James. 2 minutes on LeBron James. LeBron tonight, he had that knee scare, went down, and I was like, oh God, he bumped knees. It kind of went this way. Thank God he popped back up, because right after that, he decided to jam and yam on the Utah Jazz like he was 27 years old again, had some really insane dunks tonight, was running the floor really well. He had that coast-to-coast play where he flipped Bukowski's he flipped Kyle Filipowski's head several different times before he got forget if he got the and one layup or whatever, or it was foul. He was fouled. But anyways, LeBron looked healthy after that knee scare. He looked fast. It's clear that he's still working the rust off, but that's now 2 really good games by LeBron James. He had 10 assists tonight, 28 points. So for LeBron, that's now 2 straight. So 3 out of LeBron's last 4 games, 29 points, 26 points, 28 points. I mean, the dude is rounding into form. Defensively, he's still kind of slow-ish, and he picks and chooses when he decides to, turn on the afterburners. But as far as his offense goes, it's back. As far as some of his athletic plays in transition, that seems to be back. As far as him pushing the pace, and as far as him hitting clutch shots, he had that really nice clutch game against the Philadelphia 76ers. He hit some clutch shots against the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, LeBron James is rounding into form, and I think we should never have doubted that he would. It's just I'm concerned with his defensive play throughout 82 games of the regular season, which is why him playing next to Rui is sort of untenable. We need to get him some help in that respect. My time is up on LeBron. The last thing I'll say is I really like the LeBron and the Banshees lineup and units that JJ Redick threw out there tonight, because those were the units that kind of got the Lakers back in the game. And then once Luka came in for LeBron, he really took it from there. So there's my 2 minutes on LeBron. And now we are down to our final player. Last but not Luka least, let's talk about Luka Doncic. So Luka rebounded in a huge way from the very inefficient night against the Suns when he was like 7 of 28 from the field. But Luka Doncic tonight, 45 points, 14 of 28 from the field, 4 of 12 from 3, 13 of 16 from the line. Obviously, triple-double, insane. 11 rebounds, 14 assists, 5 steals. That might be a season high for Luka. The biggest thing I want to point out, though, is Luka's 14 assists to just 1 turnover. That's a big deal on a night when, again, the Lakers almost gave up 80 points in the first half. The fact that we didn't turn the ball over that much and Luka was very, very clean and secure with the ball is huge. Otherwise, they would have leaked out even more. They would have scored even more points than us if we had turned the ball over. So kudos to Luka for playing a very clean game overall and finding his way in the second half and really pulling ahead late, because Luka and the Banshees group, after LeBron and the Banshees, I mean, he really pushed the lead to double digits, and then we sort of played keep away ball at the end. But anyways, Luka, glad to see him round into form in this game and, put up an efficient night. 45-point triple-double. This is his second triple-double this month, third triple-double of the season. And yeah, I mean, it's such a luxury to have Luka Doncic be your franchise player and give you the floor that he does. I will say one thing to keep a lookout for with Luka is he's looking a bit sluggish these days. His conditioning seems to be slightly off. I don't want the Luka stands to jump on me for that. But if you notice, especially in the Suns game, the way that he's been running up and down the court, he's kind of labored. My time is up on Luka, but I'll just talk a little bit more about him. I don't know. It's probably because of the travel, him having just had his second daughter. I'm sure that wears on him, but look, this is just an objective thing to say, but Luka is not, he still looks good, but he's not in the same shape as he was to begin this season. And maybe that's due to him having extra fatherly duties, like the emotional toll that he's maybe taken on, having a new daughter, him traveling back and forth. I don't know, but his endurance is currently not there, even though I know he played another 37 minutes or whatever. No, 39 minutes. Good for him. Clearly he wasn't worn out by the end there, but just monitor that, because the way that he's been running up and down the court seems a little bit labored. And you can tell when Luka's not in tip top shape, because his head will be hanging down and he'll almost push himself to run faster. So that's just one thing that I observed from Luka. But otherwise, I mean, how can you dispute a 45-point triple-double where he put the team on his back and carried the Lakers on a night when they looked very sluggish on both ends of the court, and 5 steals. I mean, that's I believe that's a season high for Luka. So Luka Doncic, we are very grateful. Lakers Nation is very grateful that you are our franchise player. That'll do it. 2 minutes on every single Lakers player. That's 14 standard contract dudes, 14 guys in the regular rotation, 3 two-way guys. Yeah, that was a marathon. I just did it, guys. Let me run through really quickly before I end the stream some of the questions. This is from Wussel Westbrick. Hey, brother, love your content. I was wondering what would you think if we traded for Keon Ellis, Scottie Pippen Jr., Vince Williams Jr., I think that's Derek Jones Jr. and Jonathan Isaac. I don't think we can get all of those players, but I like all of those players in one capacity or another. I will tell you that I don't think we can get Vince Williams Jr. He's played a pretty pivotal role for the Memphis Grizzlies this season. Tyus Jones. Okay. Tyus Jones, I don't really care for Tyus Jones. We have Nick Smith Jr. And Tyus Jones doesn't play any defense. He's small as well. I would rather give Nick Smith Jr. the backup, microwave ball handling job. I like Scottie Pippen Jr. though. That dude plays tough defense, and it's sad because he was part of our, our G League farm system. If the Memphis Grizzlies are willing to give up Scottie Pippen Jr., who's been injured for much of this year, I don't know what his health status is. That's the other thing. I would love Scottie Pippen Jr. Keon Ellis, I think that's obvious, right? I would love to have Keon Ellis. It all depends on what his market is like and what other teams are willing to give up for him. And if we have the package to be able to get Keon Ellis, because I don't think the Lakers would give up their first round pick. And I don't think the Kings would give up Keon Ellis for anything short of that. Now, if they wanted a flyer on Dalton Connect, by all means, let's make that swap. But barring that, I mean, yes, in a vacuum, I would love to have Keon Ellis. I would love to have Vince Williams Jr. That's a player that I've been campaigning for. The most realistic out of this group is probably Jonathan Isaac, to be honest with you, because he still has 3, maybe 4 years on his contract at $15 million a year. Granted, he does have injury stipulations on each of those years where if he doesn't play at least 50 games, I believe he can get cut off that contract. But yeah, I would, even with that said, even with how long his contract runs, I would take a flyer on Jonathan Isaac to add that defensive versatility. That dude is a beast on the defensive end and can be your defensive anchor, even though he's not necessarily like a point guard, shooting guard, point of attack type defender. All right, let me look at some other questions. Okay, this is from Adam-T2R9T. Why does everyone want Herb Jones for defense when he has a defensive rating of 121? If you're a good defender, you won't have that kind of defensive rating no matter what team you're on. Yeah, I disagree with this. You can't look at defensive rating for a guy like Herb Jones. I mean, he just had 8 steals tonight, and we're talking about a former first team all NBA defender. He made the first team all defense literally a year and a half ago, 2 years when he was healthy. I wouldn't be concerned with defensive rating through a quarter of the season when he hasn't even played every game and his team absolutely stinks. I wouldn't. Yeah. Herb Jones. Why does everyone want Herb Jones? Look at his stat line tonight. 8 steals. He's a rabid defender. He's also athletic. He's like a younger Derek Jones Jr. in my opinion, but he has shown us that his defensive ceiling is actually higher than Derek Jones Jr. because he made first team all defense. We need as many first team all defense dudes as we can get. And that dude is just a rabid hound and can be our actual guy who chases dudes off screens, attacks the team's best ball handlers, et cetera, et cetera. That is why people want Herb Jones. And I would be willing to give the Pelicans the first round pick. I wouldn't be willing to give them anything more than that, but we'll see if they can get the 2 first round picks that they so covet. But that's why people want Herb Jones, regardless of his defensive rating of 121, which I wouldn't put too much stock in. All right, let's see. This is from Sekar9109. Chances of getting Andrew Nembhard, probably low. I know the Lakers coveted Andrew Nembhard before they ended up picking Max Christie, which was a good pick in the 2022 NBA draft. I'm sure the Lakers will always keep tabs on Andrew Nembhard because he was so high on their board and he actually ended up panning out. But I don't think chances are likely for Andrew Nembhard. But his teammate Benedict Mathurin, on the other hand, it sounds like the Pacers are not willing to re-sign Mathurin in the offseason, which is why they didn't come to an extension agreement with him this past October. So if we want a player who can score 20 points per game, has improved defensively every single year, and is explosive and athletic, there's a better shot at getting Benedict Mathurin. I can tell you that much. I don't know what I would give up for him. The Pacers would probably want our first round pick. I don't think we would do that for the rights to re-sign Benedict Mathurin to $20 million next summer, but who knows? So I think the chances are low on getting Andrew Nembhard, but his other teammates, on the other hand, Benedict Mathurin, TJ McConnell, Obi Toppin, Isaiah Jackson. I think the rest of that roster is fair game outside of Pascal Siakam, Aaron Nesmith, and Andrew Nembhard. This is from Asian Boy with 3 Ys, 3090. Thoughts on what Evan Sideri said about DeAndre Hunter? DeAndre Hunter is an obvious candidate. I will say, though, that DeAndre Hunter sucks this year. Cavs fans hate this dude's guts. He is their Rui Hachimura. Maybe even worse, because he has not been good. He has slipped defensively. I want to say, maybe like a situation context change will help him out. But I mean, he's on a Cavs team that's supposed to be an Eastern Conference contender. Like, what more motivation do you need? You just got traded from the team that drafted you, then the team that you've been with for your entire career in the NBA, in the Atlanta Hawks. Like, that should be enough motivation. If DeAndre Hunter is starting to slip already, I'm not sure if that bodes well for us. Granted, he's only on for 2 more years. I mean, I would love to, even with everything that I said and DeAndre Hunter sucking, I would love to take a flyer on DeAndre Hunter, but I'm not trading Rui Hachimura for him. He's shooting like 30% from the field this season, and he's not playing good defense. So, and he's kind of slow-footed. I don't know if you guys know that. He's like a physical defender. He can hold his own in the post. He's better laterally than Rui. That's not saying much, but he's not exactly that fast of a defender anymore, if he ever was. But yeah, I mean, I would be down for a DeAndre Hunter if it just cost us our expiring contracts and, I don't know, a pick swap or something, but I would not be trading Rui Hachimura for DeAndre Hunter. I can tell you that much, especially given what I've seen and heard from not only Cavs fans, but Hawks fans from even his last season with the Hawks. Like, I don't think this guy is who we all remember him to be. So I'll say that much about DeAndre Hunter. Let's see. Any more questions? Okay. This is from Otis the Doodle. What do you think about Herb Jones? I don't think he's better than Vando. Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with that. Herb Jones is I would say defensively, yeah, I think he's like right on par with Vando defensively, but he's just obviously more skilled offensively, can actually shoot 3-point shots, even though Vando did hit another 3, his second straight 3 in a game this season. So good on him. But Herb Jones is first team all defense sort of player. So I don't necessarily think he's better than Vando. I think he can guard point guard, shooting guard, small forward. So those are my thoughts on Herb Jones. All right. I think that'll do it. Those are all the questions. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining this stream. Please remember to like this video, comment down below, and most importantly, hit subscribe. Also consider becoming a member to the Lakers Legacy YouTube channel. If you're a member, you can watch all of the exclusive videos that I put up there. We'll have private lives and I'll interact with you guys there. The members channel is where I sort of workshop all of my raw thoughts that don't make it to the final cut. All of my wacky trade ideas. I just posted a new video. check it out for as little as I think like $4 a month, and you're helping a creator out, helping keep the lights on, because I edit all my own videos, all the clips that I curate, all of the graphics and all the graphic design stuff. I do all of that, and all of that costs money because of Adobe Creative Suite, StreamYard monthly subscription. It's a lot of money. So anything you guys can do to help, I'd really appreciate it. And thank you so much to Trucker Star for the super thanks. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Supply and Demand. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Go Lakers, 19-7, third in the West. There's a lot of work to do, but yeah, the Lakers, don't give them 3 or 4 days time off. They end up looking rusty AF when they return. Hopefully we can get back into the regular swing of things with this upcoming schedule, a more routine schedule where we're not off for that much time. And hopefully Austin Reeves comes back. Hopefully Gabe Vincent rests his back as much as he needs, and we can get some of those young guys some actual minutes, because these dudes are talented, they're athletic, they can run and gun, and we could use that infusion of life and energy on this team. But yeah, with that said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This has been Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out.